So I guess the question is, am I stupid? No, but I sometimes do stupid things. Yes, I'm driving and I'm shooting an intro to a video. But today is a super special day. I got the call. So we're heading to go pick up a brand new watch. Let's go. So as we make this journey, this was not an easy road. I've heard stories and stories about people just walking into a Rolex AD and happily having someone just hand you a new watch and say, "Congratulations." I've heard other stories of people being on the wait list for years, if not decades, and really it just being an irrelevant point of time because they're never going to get a watch. And maybe there's some people just like me who are somewhere in the middle. We'll go a little bit further in detail. I'll tell you a couple things that, at least for me, I think were very helpful when it comes to getting a Rolex. Your story might be different. If it is, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. But at the end of the day, I am absolutely thrilled to pull into the parking lot, to make a quick turn here, there, to finally say, and there it is, the Rolex store. Let's go pick up our watch. Welcome to another episode of Patrick W. Time. And this is a surprising and rather celebratory episode. I've been waiting a very long time to not only get this watch, make a video about this watch, but something kind of stupid sounding. And the stupid sounding part is just getting a little respect from my authorized dealer. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have. Watches are stupidly expensive. There is truly no reason that any wristwatch should cost more than a couple $1,000s, not to mention over $10,000. These are luxury items, and I kind of feel when you're buying luxury items, you should at least feel a little bit luxury. Am I the only one who feels a little kicked in the butt? When you go into a store looking to buy a watch, you don't get treated poorly, but you don't get treated well. The person you're talking to almost has an air of, "You're wasting my time." And to be fair, most of the time I am just browsing. But I absolutely have the ability to buy. And if you've seen my watch collection, I've done it plenty times before. I'm not afraid to spend stupid money on a wristwatch. So at least give me the courtesy to look around the store and hopefully, maybe, there'll be a watch that I'm interested in. And that's sort of my story with Rolex. I'm going to sound like a real silly fool when I say this, but most Rolex watches bore the absolute snot out of me. I'm not a history guy. I don't care who made the first watch in space. I don't care who made the first diver. I like a watch because it looks, or it is, a cool, tough, mechanically interesting, unique, any other fun adjective you want to add in there, watch. And while we're taking this watch out of the box, you'll notice this is just kind of a regular watch.
If you've made it this far in the video, let me first thank you, and second, ask for a little bit of support. The easiest support you can give is just a like to the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you like the content, and if you want to support the channel in an even greater way, I've got links in the description for my YouTube memberships, for Patreon, and a whole bunch of other things that just help out the channel. Thank you so much.
But not exactly this version. And here's where maybe my story is different. I'm sure there's tons of people who have put their name on the Rolex, we'll call it a wait list, for tons of introductory watches. Whether it be a Datejust, whether it be an Oyster Perpetual, maybe an Explorer, whatever Rolex deems their Tier 1 watch. But to be fair, none of those watches interest me at all. Even the regular Submariner, okay, it looks like a regular dive watch. It's not a bad watch. It's actually a kind of nice looking watch. But to me, it's not special enough that it makes me want to shell out that kind of money. And that brings me to the green Submariner. And whether this year they call it the Kermit, the Cermit, the Starbucks, or the Hulk minus a green dial, I've always thought the green Submariner was the most interesting regular watch that Rolex makes. I'm lucky enough to have a Sky Dweller. I wasn't lucky enough to get it at the authorized dealer. The Sky Dweller is a really cool annual calendar, a super neat movement, for me, the most technical Rolex. It's a little dressy, and for that reason, I don't wear it that much. I really wanted something that was a little bit more everyday. And to me, nothing speaks everyday more than a Rolex Submariner. It has just a little bit of fancy, it has just a little bit of tough, and of course with that pop of green, it has a little bit of style. It has a little bit of uniqueness. It has something to maybe differentiate itself from the other dive watches out there, and once again, just maybe justify that price. So now the story. I put my name on this watch just a little bit over 3 years ago. And I knew I was going to wait. I've got a purchase history at this particular authorized dealer. I've bought a couple watches here and there. I'm pretty social with just about everybody in the store. But I guess I'm not a trusted Rolex buyer. And people tell me that that's kind of an interesting and difficult hurdle to cross. Sadly, in this age of flipping watches, way too many people buy Rolex just because, well, you can sell it the next day and you can make a buck. But that's not me. And I guess it took a little bit of time to maybe convince people that that was the case. It also helped that I raised a little bit of a fuss after the 3-year mark. So at the end of the day, I think it was a really good relationship I had with one particular associate that helped. I think he kind of went to bat for me and tried to explain at least to the upper management, who I think really gets to make the decision, that I was worthy to spend my money to buy an overpriced watch. Yeah, that just sounds funny to say. But with all the story out of the way, finally I get to enjoy my green Submariner. And even with all that dirty laundry, I'm thrilled. I'm full of saying really dumb things, and here comes the next one. I've barely even tried this watch on. Yeah, they've got those exhibition-only models that you can kind of put on your wrist, but you don't get to size the bracelet, you don't get to play with the adjustable clasp, you don't really get to get up close and personal with it because you've got someone hounding over your shoulder and you've got too many eyes on you to actually enjoy the moment. I feel like I really haven't even given this watch an in-depth analysis. So here you go. I'm going to go with the negative first because let's just get it out of the way. Is this watch worth $11,000? Oof. I'm so happy that in late 2025, I got this watch maybe before the next price increase thanks to tariffs, because this watch is kind of at the ceiling of what I would even willingly pay for. Can I lie to you and say that this watch is worth $11,000? No, I cannot. It's a nice watch. Obviously, I wouldn't have bought it if it wasn't, but it is a chunk of steel. It's a machine-made and assembled movement. Sure, a human touched it for a moment or two somewhere along that line, but let's not lie to ourselves. This is a machine-made movement. Beautiful, well-made, excellent movement, but $11,000 is a ton of cash. But here's the good of my bad news. That's really about all the bad news I have. Besides the price, this is a gorgeous watch. So now time for the good. Obviously, to me, the most striking aspect of this watch, that green ceramic bezel. It is beautiful. I know there are different color combinations. I think they recently changed the color, made it a little bit darker. My eyes aren't good enough. I probably couldn't tell the difference if you paid me all the money in the world. It just looks green to me, and it's a beautiful shade of green. I think the contrast with the black dial is stunning. I think the Hulk is cool, but the green on green I think would be too much. I actually think the black dial looks better. On a closer look up, it's beautifully well made. All the hour markers are beautiful, the hands are crisp, the bezel has an absolutely great sound. It's just a beautiful package. And here are a couple surprising things that I really liked about this watch. I never really got so up close with the brushed bracelet. My Sky Dweller has some areas of brushing on the bracelet, but I guess with all of the shiny parts, I guess I never really paid attention to the brushed. Or maybe the brushing's a little bit different. I haven't compared the two yet. But the brushing is so fine. It's kind of elegant, for lack of a better word. I know a tool watch and a brushed case isn't supposed to be elegant, but it just kind of is. And I think it's a absolutely beautiful case and bracelet, and I just think the finishing for it for a relatively simple finished case, just looks fantastic. And here's the other weird one. I had no idea that the lume pip at 12 o'clock was so out there. It really sticks up above the bezel. I kind of like that. I really hope I don't snag it on something someday and mess up the whole bezel and a whole bunch of other stuff, but it's kind of cool how it just sticks up. I know, what a weird thing to notice, but I did. I just said, man, that's kind of out there. But that lume pip is just kind of a fun little feature that I wasn't expecting. And of course, the last little feature, which this one's not so surprising, but I really do like the adjustable clasp. It is so easy to fine-tune the fit. You might need a half link here, you might need a full link there, but anywhere in between, you can just slide that clasp just a little millimeter here or there, and you can get a perfect fit. Yeah, the standard Rolex clasp is adjustable, but the Submariner clasp is better. So with all of that said, I'm finally the owner of a green Submariner. The regular Rolex dive watch that just has a little bit of personality. Just a little bit different to satisfy whatever this oddball watch collector that I am looks for in a watch to make it just unique enough to purchase. Rolex might be the most normal watch that's in my collection, but I tried to find the version that was the least normal of the normal. And my last little statement here, it's a simple one. Make connections in your authorized dealer. I really don't think this watch purchase would have happened if I hadn't made some pretty good connections with my authorized dealer and some of the associates. I'm sure their job is not an easy one. They probably have a bunch of scammers and just a bunch of weirdos sucking up to them all day long trying to get a watch. The good news for me, I didn't care that much. I was more than content to wait as long as I needed to wait. Whether I own the watch today, tomorrow, or another year from now, it wouldn't have made a difference. I just wish that they were a little bit more transparent about how long it would take. It really is kind of hard to be left out. You have no idea if you're going to get it in a month, 6 months, 3 years, or maybe never. So if you're on the list for a particularly not easy to get Rolex, just be genuine, talk to people, make relationships, and even though you might have to wait a little while, hopefully your watch will come for you too. And if you had to wait a while, let me know your story in the comments. I'm curious. Daddy got a new watch today. Do you like it?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
The green.